Hello, welcome to ID Talks. My name is Anastasia Laurina, and today we have a special guest from Geneva, Ventzeslav Sabev, Deputy General Secretary, Geneva Geostrategic Observatory. Hello and welcome to our program.
Thank you, Anastasia. Good morning out of Geneva.
Thank you so much. So my first question, Azerbaijan has been announced as the host of the next year COP29 summit. What's your opinion on this?
Well, congratulations to Azerbaijan to be the host of COP29 next year. This is great news at many levels, but the first is that it demonstrates Azerbaijan's ability to build new coalitions with the new realities. It plays a role of soft diplomacy. It masters that extremely well. It creates bridges. It becomes a mediator and a peace broker. And in that sense, probably IDD is contributing by training qualified diplomats for that.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind remarks. It's highly appreciated. By the way, you were among the participants at the forum titled Karabakh Back Home After 30 Years Accomplishment and Challenges, held in Ada University. And before that, a day before, you had a chance to visit Zangila region of Azerbaijan, Aghali village, smart village. So, what are your personal impressions from visiting the liberated lands of Azerbaijan?
Well, the impression I can link it to COP29 as well and to IDD. The good news is the warmth we were feeling, both in terms of the climate. The sun was shining, the temperature was high, but you could feel that could reveal also the climate in the region. With closer relationships with the neighbors, including with Armenia in terms of the negotiation of the peace treaty. And by the way, COP is also very interesting because the way that Armenia has given up its application in order to give its seat or its bid to Azerbaijan is an extremely important sign of willingness to proceed with peaceful dialogue. So that's something very important as Azerbaijan is being seen as a leader beyond the Caucasus, but even within the Eastern European region. So we could see it when we visited the region, that there is a sense of optimism, of future thinking development. This is the first time I see a smart village built from scratch. And when I came back to Switzerland, I spoke to a couple of architect bureaus in both Zurich and Geneva. And you know, it's very exciting for them to know that they can be extremely creative, which urban planning in Western Europe doesn't allow. You can be extremely creative, and there is this element of bridging history, heritage with modern materials, renewable energies, eco-friendly technologies, and this bridge between the past and the future is extremely interesting because first you build a city which is sustainable from an architectural viewpoint, with water management, waste management, energy management, but also it's sustainable socially. This is what is missing in many modern cities where you have skyscrapers that are anti-human. In a way, what we have seen there is a bridge between past and future, between history and legacy of the past and modernity, and a society which will be more resilient because it meets the needs of humanity. Ultimately, that's the most important.
So, living in one of the most beautiful countries in the world, Switzerland, do you think that Karabakh has the potential to become one of the most attractive destinations for the tourists from all over the world? And what might particularly attract them to come here?
Well, the first element is exactly this possibility to go to the past in terms of finding nature as it was hundreds of years ago, water which is pure enough to be drinkable from the source. air that you can hardly breathe even on the Alps here. So the nature, first thing. The second is the architecture that needs to be restored and that needs to be presented as a hub of different historical trends, civilizations that meet there in the center of the Caucasus, and that can reveal roots of people coming from the Balkans, where I come from, people coming from the West and the East. So that's the second point, nature, heritage. And the third is the thermal resource that the region has. My first visit in Karabakh was 3 years ago. I went to Agdam when nothing was still restored. And we were in a tent, and I dared already at that time to speak about tourism. And it's not too early. Now we need to attract tour operators, real estate investors, architects again. And I'm really willing to organize a roundtable probably in Zurich so we can get the business community, real estate investors, developers, and architects, and really think how best to combine past and future. And there is a spiritual component in all of that, because all of that is combined with nature, art, history, and it's an energy that you can feel there, which is extremely optimistic. So start now with the advertising materials for tourism.
Yes, indeed. And as it was noted by the rector of Ada University, Professor Hafiz Pashayev, he said, I'll just quote it, along with the implementation of infrastructure projects, the main task is the comfortable return and resettlement of Azerbaijani internally displaced persons. What's your opinion about this issue?
To my main point, when you bridge past and future, you need the people. And you need to people who have been there in the past, you need their descendants. You need the soul of the region to be brought back. And a soul is not only stones, is not only rivers, it's people. And the blend of people that have been there, when they go back with enthusiasm to rebuild, will be fundamental for a sustainable development of the region. You need to start with these three elements: the nature, the architectural part, and the people. And this is a blend that is absolutely necessary.
So we see practically that Azerbaijan is changing the geopolitical situation in the region. Where and how does this manifest itself from your point of view?
Well, first, a new actor in international governance has appeared. That is Azerbaijan, in terms of brokering peace treaties and facilitating mediation. That's one aspect. And it is very important from a Swiss perspective when we question sometimes the role of small countries. Small countries can play major revolutionary changes in international affairs, especially in times of crisis, as now. Second, Azerbaijan is bringing on the agenda important legal or let's say regulatory aspects. COP29 will definitely reveal one of them in terms of promoting renewable energies. That's extremely important when you consider the link between environment and health and social resilience and social peace. The third important element is what Azerbaijan is doing in the field of demining. Here, I am supporting the initiative of President Aliyev to raise the issue at the international level to have even an 18th Sustainable Development Goal on humanitarian demining. Mines is a major obstacle in the resettlement process we discussed, and we need to build an international coalition of countries that have the same impediment in their sustainable development, especially in post-war situations. And we need to assess how efficient the 17 other sustainable goals are applied to demining. And definitely there is a work to be done, namely here in Geneva as a global hub for disarmament on the area of mine prevention, landmines proliferation, and demining, and finding partners to assist that. But again, the role of Azerbaijan as a relatively small country, but again, small countries can solve global issues.
So, a little bit more about the international relations. Tell us about the importance of the restoration of sovereignty by Azerbaijan in September of 2023 from the international point of view. Just share with us your opinion.
Well, today we speak a lot about the new world order. We hear about new realities, and in that sense, we need to look at the laws without different standards. Of course, emotions come up, but there is a very clear need to apply the law in the same way everywhere. Double standard is what kills international law. And in the international Geneva, we have several organizations that are alerting when law has not been respected. It has been done over the years, be it in the Balkans, be it in the Caucasus, be it in the Middle East. Double standards is what kills international law, and it doesn't need new norms. We don't need to reinvent any of the international law. We need just to respect it in the same way everywhere. When a border has been internationally recognized in the early 90s, this border is the one that international law requires us to respect and to restore it when it has been infringed. It's very simple.
And the final question I have, what are the main risks in delaying the signing of peace treaty between Baku and Yerevan?
Well, the risk is that in the current circumstances, when you have crises in so many different places, when suddenly for the young people, war has become again a reality. And for decades, we were thinking that war has been outlawed and that we do not have that means of resolving conflicts. So any delay in solving one of the conflicts on earth today is an attack against international law, against our belief in the international multilateral system, in the security system we have. And it's a risk that when rules are not defined between two belligerent countries, the risk to infringe the border, to attack, to have a terrorist attack on either side is higher. Once the rules will be signed on the two sides, you can refer to a document. But I'm again thinking of the message to the young people. War is not a way to resolve conflicts. And again, war is not the future. It's not definitely the future of humanity.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining the program today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.